Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for me to stop milking Mr. Beast and hop on over to another monster among men, a former BBC host, a former BBC presenter. Huw Edwards is charged with 37 charges creating indecent images of children through WhatsApp. Disgusting. We're going to hop on over here to Drama Alert. Of course, Drama Alert Keemstar, not the most trusted source in the world, but it has been pretty informative with providing you all amazing information. Former BBC host Huw Edwards charged with 37 images of creating indecent images of children shared on WhatsApp. Right? So of course I Google it. CBS News is covering it. Former BBC presenter Huw Edwards charged with making indecent images of children, the little ones. Disgusting. Former BBC presenter has been charged with 3 counts of making indecent images of children, London's Metropolitan Police Service said. Huw Edwards, 62 years old, was one of BBC's most prominent figures before he was suspended in July 2023 and later resigned for health reasons. Edwards had been the lead anchor on the BBC's nighttime news and led BBC coverage of the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022. He had been among the broadcaster's best-paid stars with an annual salary of at least $565,000. That is a lot of money. The charges relate to the offenses that allegedly took place between December 2020 and April 2022. So 2 years that this person has been making this content. Horrible, and involved images shared on WhatsApp. Police said Edwards was charged on June 26 following authorization from the Crown Prosecution Service and is scheduled to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on Wednesday. And this is how the monster looks. Back in my day, predators used to look kind of like aliens, and they had like the long dreadlocks and those helmets and little rocket guns on their arms, and now they just look like this, okay? It's weird. Edwards is accused of having 6 Category A images, the most serious classification of indecent images on a phone. He is also accused of making 12 Category B pictures and 19 Category C photographs. You're probably asking, what the heck is the difference from Category A, Category B, Category C? And that's exactly why we're going to head on over here to the Internet Watch Foundation, where they put together a nice little list. Category A images involve putting something inside of a little person. So, I can't say the word. YouTube doesn't like it. Or it can involve activity with an animal or sadism, which basically means pain and suffering. There's harm involved, right? Category B can involve non-putting something inside activity. Category C is other indecent images that do not fall within categories A or B. If found guilty, Edwards could receive a sentence of up to 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, if you produce 12 plus 19 plus 6 illegal, disgusting images involving minors, my friends, you're only going to go for 6 months to prison. What I would do is say, put this man in a chair, where they cuff his arms down and he gets a little, hey, but that's just me, right? That would be a just solution. Hey, I'm not encouraging harm, okay? I just think that if you create these kind of images, you should get a whole lot more than 6 months in prison. We are seeing content creators lose their livelihoods and be canceled and reprimanded for days, for months, for years, lose everything that they've worked for, something like talking to a minor, which is still pretty disgusting. Talking to a 17-year-old, still pretty disgusting. This guy created, 20-something images involving children, not only had them on his phone, on his devices, created them. He had the camera himself while he was doing these actions to people underage. This is a monster that does not, I guess wouldn't have the right. He doesn't have the right to be with us anymore. That's all I'm going to say. Media and the public are strongly reminded that this is an active case, police said in a statement. Nothing should be published, including on social media, which could prejudice future court proceedings, which is funny because I'm reading this on CBS News, so I'm going to cover it. As the accusations became front-page news last July, Why am I just now reading this in July of 2024 if this happened in July of 2023? Edwards' wife, Vicky Flynn, said the father of five was suffering from serious mental health issues and had been admitted to a hospital. Well, yeah, the serious mental health issue is that he's a sicko. He likes little people. He likes taking images and creating images of minors. That's his health issue, okay? We're not going to pass this off as this old man had dementia or that old man was, seeing visions about creating this content. This guy's a disgusting creep, okay? His wife, Vicky Flynn, you're a doofus for trying to defend this as if, well, we can't really think he's a creep. It was just his head. I've been on days with lack of sleep, and that's just recently covering the situations with Chris Tyson and Mr. Beast. And you don't see me out there filming disgusting things with my dog, filming disgusting things with my nephews and nieces, because I'm a sane individual. All right, now look at this absolutely insane post from Politics UK back on July 12th of 2023. Breaking: Vicky Flynn, wife of BBC News presenter Huw Edwards, has named him on his behalf as the BBC presenter facing allegations. You see how they do that? They disguise what the allegations are. You don't get to do something this horrible and just say, allegations. I mean, it could be he said something rude, he said something bad, he, touched somebody, which is still pretty bad, but not as bad as touching kids. But they just say allegations, right? Leave it up in the air for a year. She said he was suffering from serious mental health issues and is receiving inpatient hospital care where he will stay for the foreseeable future. More cope, lock him up. Here is Vicky Flynn's statement in full. In light of the recent reporting regarding the BBC presenter, I am making the statement on behalf of my husband, Huw Edwards, after what has been 5 extremely difficult days for our family. I am doing this primarily out of concern for his mental well-being and to protect our children. That last part is very correct, because if you leave your children in a room with Huw Edwards, you're not going to get very much protection, okay? The events of the last few days have greatly worsened matters. He has suffered another serious episode, is now receiving inpatient hospital care, will stay for the foreseeable future. Poor baby. Hopefully he stays in there and rots. It wouldn't really hurt anybody, I don't think so. In the circumstances and given Huw's condition, I would like to ask that the privacy of my family and everyone else caught up in these upsetting events is protected. No. Too bad. I'm making a video. I'm so glad all of this is coming out, because you creeps need to get a taste of your own medicine. It doesn't matter. This is the same guy who was making videos and going on TV to present things about Andrew Tate, who I don't think is a great guy by any means, but it is insanely ironic that, the same people who went after Andrew Tate and they're like, oh, this guy, is trafficking women and doing all this stuff to, adults and people that are like 16, 17, were filming content with children. Okay, again, Andrew Tate's a POS. He's a pretty bad dude and has some pretty terrible hot takes. But you are 10 times worse, buddy. You're not my buddy. F you. Edwards himself has not publicly commented on the allegations. He shouldn't be able to publicly comment because he should be in a cell. He likes BBC. He likes working for BBC. He's going to be in prison enjoying a whole lot of BBC, especially when they find out that this guy created 20 images of doing disgusting, vile, horrific things with children. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know down below what you think of this situation and what you think of the absolute stupidity that this absolute monster, this predator among men, is only going to face 6 months in prison for having 20 plus images of very vile and disgusting photos that has been swept under the rug for a year now. Peace out.